Our next step in completion of this model of the 3D garage is to add some windows. What we're going to do is we're going to add a couple side windows here. Let me show you the diagram. We're going to put a couple windows there and a window up above. So to do that, it's as easy as placing doors. But we want to do it in the ground level as well. So we simply double click on the ground level and we choose Windows. And if we click on our type selector in the options bar, you'll see that we only have one window style fixed. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually load it in a different window style by clicking Load. And as we come to our window styles, we'll scroll down here to the window directory. I don't actually see a window style that I want. Well, what are our options here? We can create our own, but that's a lot of work. With Revit, if we make our way to the window pull down and choose the recent file, we get back to this initial page that we started up with. And what you'll see here is a web content library link. So we'll click on that. And what that will do, and I'll just reposition this so you can see exactly what I'm doing here, it will bring us to a website in which we have a slew of resources in terms of Revit architectural predefined objects. I am going to select the Revit Architecture 2009 library, and I'm going to choose the US library. And under the US library, we're going to open up the Families category, and we're going to scroll down and select Windows. And as you can see, there are numerous types of windows here. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So there is quite a number of Windows styles. What we're going to choose is the 2x2 gliding windows family. We simply click on that object, and then it's asking us to open it or save it. If we choose open, it will actually download it and open it up so we can make physical changes to the window style itself. That's not what we want. We want to actually click save, and we want to save it somewhere on our home drive or on our C drive. In my case, under my C directory, I have a Revit family folder, which I'm simply going to save it to. Once it's saved, I go back to my Revit. I'll make my way by choosing Window, going to My Garage Floor Plan Ground, where I left off, and I simply choose Windows, Load, and now I simply need to make my way to my C drive, Revit Families folder, and we can see that I now have access to the gliding 2x2. Click Open. I now have different sizes of my gliding 2x2 window. And I'm going to choose 48 inches by 48 by 23. And you notice I now can place that window. Just like the doors, we want to make sure that our mouse is when we click, before we click, is positioned closer to the exterior of the wall, because the inside of a window is different from the outside of the window. What I'll do is I'll click on the exterior of the wall for that window, and I'll click on the interior of the wall for this window, just to show you the difference. I want to view this in 3D, so I make my way up to the 3D button, left click, and I will zoom in here, zoom in region, and you'll notice how the windows are different. So I want to make sure that I flip the direction of this window. Making my way back to ground floor, I simply just double click on ground floor in the project browser. I single click on the window that I want to change, and you'll notice that there's a little icon here of 2 arrows. So that will allow me to flip the facing. If I click on that arrow, I've now positioned the window properly. And once again, you can dimension this, or at any time you can simply click and move the window just by dragging it. We're going to make our way back to the 3D view. Click on the 3D view button at the top. We want to see everything, so we simply go to our zoom all to fit, and we want to place a window here. We can work in 3D, and we can simply say click on the front on the view cube, and that will bring it around perfectly. We'll choose window. I don't have a window I like here, so we'll click the load button. We'll just take this from the standard Windows library, Windows, and we'll choose a 3x3 with trim. Casement 3x3 with trim. Click open, and we can position it. It will automatically, notice my dimensions down at the bottom there that display 10 feet 2 inches and 2 1/4 inches. It will automatically snap to the center, and we click. If you wanted to change the height, you'll see some dimensions here that you can change the height of where that's actually located. We'll just leave it at default there. We will get out of the window command by making our way to the basic panel in the design panel. Click modify, and we'll hover over the view cube so that the little house icon is displayed, and we click on the house icon to get us a 3D isometric view of the house. We have now completed the Windows insertion portion. Remember to save. File, save.